Forgot to hit the go live button. Whoopsie. So anyway, the way I have this plan is like when we do this, I'm gonna finish eating. I'm just gonna let the stream run while I eat. Once everything's set, I'll go out in the garage, open up the door quick, and I'll move a few things out. Once I got that stuff out, I'll close it and just leave it cracked a little bit to get some air in there, and we will get the show on the road. Um, Here, old the only reason I'm early is because how can I word this? I'm early because I'm every other Friday I'm gonna start doing Fabricobble Fridays. So next Friday I won't do one, but the Friday after that I will. So the Fabricobble Fridays will be started an hour early. But I'm doing good, Andrew. And how are you doing? Oh, by the way, welcome to the show, the crazy show. Hey, Bigfoot. Sorry, not chat much, guys. I'm working on getting ready to drag y'all out in the shop with me, and we can go do some go work on a project. Yeah, how you doing? Oh, by the way, for all you in the chat, that are in the Small Homes Nation Hangouts, I put the StreamYard link in the Hangouts because I need someone to be on the panel while I'm in the shop so they can read the chat for me because I probably won't be able to read the chat while I'm out there. So if one of y'all beautiful people could please be my chat reader, it'd be greatly appreciated. Hey, thanks for the raid, guys. I come down here and I seen raid. I was like, what? I was like, yep, it's real. Well, Kathy, I had some home done BLTs. Hey, Breezy, how you doing? All right, I'm all set to go, and once we get someone in this panel, we can head out to the shop. Not yet, Kathy. I'm probably gonna paint it next month. when the weather's warm. Oh, Harold, the link is in the Hangouts. I can put it in the chat here quick again. There we go. That sounds good, Ed. Well, Harold, I put it in the chat, so if you scroll up a little bit, you'll probably be able to see it in the chat there. Hey. There he is.
What's up, buddy? Let me kill the audio on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna add myself to the stream again because I'm gonna have to use my phone in the shop so I can record like everything. So you're gonna see two of me. I have the computer running right now to run a stream. Then I'm gonna have my phone up.
Okay.
For the shop. Well, working on the project because that's the only way I can do it.
I understand.
Oh.
You're welcome, guys. I figured, hey, it's Friday.
There's
Why not
Mr.
get
Willie
on here and let everybody see my ugly face?
Hey, Willie.
I got my speaker off. Okay.
Y'all ready to go out and shop with me? Have a little soiree?
Well, yeah.
All right, let me get my phone connected here, and then I'll grab my tool bag and we'll head out that way.
What up, Willie?
Hey. Huh. I used to be able to join these on my phone, but it's not letting me do that.
I think it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, not very loud though on my end, and I'm not sure why. Oh, I think I got it now. I hear it. I heard it.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Got a repeater system here in the Nashville area that says, "Can you hear me now?"
Hear me now?
On the AM4TZ repeater.
Okay, I can hear you now. Good.
All right.
So what have you been up to, Harold?
Yeah, with me being off work. What's that?
What have you been up to?
Man, I've been YouTubing all day, just piddling. With me being off work, it's been kind of slow. I did go to Aldi and Walmart this morning, and I did find everything we needed for the week as far as groceries, but the shelves are a little bit on the empty side. But if you go early in the morning, because they stock up at night, if you go early in the morning, you can get in there and you can find what you need. So it ain't bad. I mean, you know, we make do with what we got, and I stay on the radios a lot.
What are you listening for on the radio?
I'm a ham radio operator.
Oh, okay,
I talk.
Yeah. And I know that's pretty important because I know sometimes if there's ever a problem with communications or something like that, there's a lot of exercises in ham radios. I talked to a guy on it. There's
yeah. Hey,
whole network.
Willie?
Basically. Yeah.
Miss Kathy's asking, can you see the chat?
No, I'm in StreamYard. Let me see.
We're gonna figure this out because it's not letting me join on my phone because it recognizes the my email address. So I'm gonna put the
There's a StreamYard chat, but there's not a YouTube chat.
I'm putting the Streamlab app on my phone, and I'm gonna see if it'll let me join.
Okay. I'm watching both sides, so Miss Kathy, I'm there. I got it.
I'm gonna figure this out.
$200, Ed.
I'm gonna figure this out before we go in the shop. I'm gonna make this work.
Oh, we lost Willie.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that.
Like I said, I'm watching the YouTube side, so he may be in the stream yard. So
I don't have a second phone on me right now. It's up in my room. If I try to turn it on, it would take forever for it to boot up.
I understand.
It'd be dinging like you wouldn't believe for all the messenger stuff. I need to get that off my account one of these days, because it's trying to. When I have two phones on the same account, it's a little bit crazy when it comes off notifications.
Yeah. Let me try this.
Yeah, that one bolt does not want to come out. There we go. Right now,
Hey, that works even better.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to get piston and rod assembly out of here. I wanted to weigh it and compare it to the aftermarket ones I got from Carrier Performance.
What's the motor?
18 horsepower Vanguard.
Okay.
I got two blocks. One I paid $50 for. The other one I paid $30 for. The $30 one is the one I'm working on right now, and it was a 20 horse, so it had the double barrel carburetor on it. The 18 horse I got for $50. It was C sitting outside, but it had the flywheel shaft adapter on it. So just the shaft adapter alone was worth the money, because those things are I've seen up on eBay for like $150. So I saw that in the advertisement. It's like, I don't care about the motor. The motor is a bonus. I just want the shaft. So the motor's down at the machine shop. This one I'm gonna take
for a tractor.
It's gonna go in my 1990 Craftsman for tractor pulls. I also use it for plowing, moving trailers around. It's not gonna be my mower duty Craftsman.
Okay.
And I'll be doing a video on performance stuff for these small engines probably later today. I was about rod lengths and piston height, or I'm sorry, compression height and deck height, all that fun stuff, which nobody seems to cover when it comes to small engines.
Miss Kathy's saying awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it in the chat, but I'm watching the chat over on StreamYard now.
Yeah, I don't have a second phone on me to read the chat. And
that's fine.
The chat here is only for the StreamYard chat. It's a little bit different.
Well, that's what I'm on.
You're on the StreamYard chat? So what, you just click the icon on the bottom?
Where either up on the top right-hand side, you got a private chat or a live comments, and I clicked the live comments. And now my computer's
I'm on a cell phone.
I got it.
So
yeah, you probably wouldn't see it there. I'm on a laptop.
Oh, live. Yeah, I see live comments over here.
Okay.
Aha. But unfortunately, I can't read the. Actually, I can just listen to you guys. I don't need to see you guys talking.
Yeah. I'll tell you if somebody's asking you a question.
Well, if anyone's mooning me or something like that, and on the panel, I mean.
Polar Bear's wanting to know if you'll assemble his engine for him.
I don't know. I was just gonna send it out to have it done because I don't have a ring file machine. I don't have the bore gauges to see if the bores are square. I also don't know my piston clearances very well when it comes to performance pistons. I know sometimes it depends if it's cast or hyprotectic. I could be pronouncing that incorrectly. Close enough, I'm gonna say, but I know, or even forged pistons, all of them have different clearances within reason, depending on the bore size. So I find it easier just pay the other guy to do it because he's got all the tools. I don't have to spend the money. Now, what I do have is I'm I don't know if you guys can still see me or not.
Yeah.
Okay. I got some basic tools. I got myself some bore gauges or bore. What do you call these things? They're not gauges, but you can stick them in there to like mock up the size of the bore. And you open these up and they're spring loaded. You stick that in there to where it's in the smallest point, and then you tighten them down. And you can take that out of the bore.
Oh, it's a caliper.
But you can put your caliper on it and see what size it is. So at least I can tell the bore is still a factory size.
Right. Ed said he just got his back from the machine shop. He's got all the tools ready to do it all.
Once I got the pistons here now. I just got them Thursday, and I wanted to weigh them, which I just weighed the piston and rod and wrist pins. Did not weigh the rings because the factory pistons have 3 rings and these new ones have 2 rings, so it's not going to really give me a good comparison of the actual mass of the aluminum. But I wanted to weigh those before I dropped them off, so I'll probably give the engine shop a call tomorrow to drop the pistons and rods off, and he'll measure the pistons and see if they won't fit in the cylinders of that one engine. The other engine had sat outside and seized up, and it got water in the cylinders, so the cylinders had gotten a lot of surface rust in them. Being it was only a $50 motor, I don't really care if it blows up, and that was not a good condition engine to begin with. If it can be salvaged, I'll salvage that. This engine, in the current condition it's in, I could easily put carburetors on it and make it run. There's nothing wrong with it. Didn't really want to do a performance build on an engine that's not really bad. At the same time, I have an 18 horse out in my shed that'll run on propane. That's still in good shape. So I'd rather take the worst engine and have it checked out to see if it's in spec and rebuild that one than take a good motor apart. So that's where I was at with
All right,
these.
I'm gonna kill. I just killed the YouTube side of this because I think it was freezing me up some. Captain Jerk, what's going on? How you doing? Breezy, good to see you in the shop. Somewhere he's around, but I saw him
figuring
pop
out how
in
to
just
try and get my
ago.
phone to work with the StreamYards here, and it's not wanting to cooperate.
I kind of figured that's what was going on. There's a couple more people popping in. Hey, make sure you hit that like button and thumbs up button and all them good things like that while you guys are in here.
Came on the panel. Yeah, I already hit the thumbs up on the panel before I came on the panel. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, Kathy, he is working on some problems. But hey, we got the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're talking about a horse, not me.
Yeah. Sorry, you can't see the panel. They're saying a couple of things, so I'm just repeating for them.
Because I don't think horse. At least.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure who he meant by he's.
Yeah, a reed backup. That's it.
Hopefully this bearing will just come off the shaft. I don't think I'm going to be so lucky. Oh, no, the whole camshaft's being weird.
Hey, Willie.
What's up?
You see that light that's behind you on the wall? No. One down on the wall behind on the wall back. Yeah. Yeah. That one there. That's killing you.
Oh, it's killing me?
All you can see is your face, but the motor, it's kind of hard to see it. Just FYI. I mean, we can deal with that, but just so you know, it'd probably be better if it was over the top of the engine instead of in the face of the camera.
Let me see what I can do here. That better?
Beautiful.
See, I just got to make it brighter on this side. That's all.
Right.
Because I don't want to go mess with that light.
I understand. That's why I'm telling you, though, because, I mean, it's backlighting on the camera.
Well, I already had No, I think that one was replaced. I know some of these sockets are getting a little bit questionable with corrosion. There we go. So we had a couple of them that were just arcing and making noise, and I had to pop the bulbs out of them.
Oh man, them are fun.
Oh, it's always nice when you don't hear the noise, but you smell the smell of that like burning bright electrical smell. It's like, what in the world is that? And you're wondering if there's something on fire in the trash can from after you're grinding or something.
Just lick your fingers and run them across the wire. It'll be okay.
No, it was actually the sockets on the end of the bulbs. Actually, what happened is one day, this light, I don't know if this light was replaced. I think we did. It literally just dropped right out of the socket. It's like out of nowhere. I have never seen that happen before. But what it is before we put the garage up over this is a concrete floor here. It used to be open to the elements upstairs. Eventually, we built the garage over top of it. But whenever it would rain, there'd always be moisture. And if it was warmer down here than it was outside, you get condensation in here like you wouldn't believe. It would literally like rain inside here.
No.
Even today, with all the showers going by, it was getting hot and cold, hot and cold. There's like even the vise had water on it when I came out here today.
Oh man, where are you at?
Weather. Northeast Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So the temperatures change every day. This engine's actually in beautiful shape for $30. Cylinders are nice and clean. You can still see some honing lines in them. You don't feel any wear ridge on the top of the cylinder. Granted, there's some sludge in here from water getting in here. I don't know how it got in here. Maybe sitting. Nothing corroded at all.
Miss Kathy, what do you got? You needing
I don't know
red?
if you can see that milky color or not.
Nah, not with the light behind it.
Yeah, whatever. It's got like a brownish color instead of a clear or brown color. I had drained out the water that was in it and added a quart and rotated the engine to get the oil through all the bearing surfaces, so it would get all the water out of there.
Okay. There he is.
I'm trying to.
Hey,
yeah, this
that's
is
not
being.
the shop.
Sounds like horse is back.
Yeah. It's weird. Is my phone will not let me join the StreamYard because I'd have to be a guest, and it's not letting me do that. So I may have to try this through Streamlabs.
Hey, Craig's coming in. He was pulling in the driveway a little bit ago. Maybe he can tell you how to do it.
Right now I'm trying to get my timing marks all straightened out. I got a, what do you call it, shim in my way. Where's that dot? There's the dot. Oh, where's the other dot?
Yeah, see? If I go through Streamlabs, it shows I put it in there on the chat on the side, the StreamYard side.
Okay.
Right.
But I need to get my phone to connect to this.
Now, would you believe me if I said this
Brandon
does not have a timing mark on it?
Brandon was saying he says he makes himself a guest on the panel to do it in the shop.
Well, Brandon, you'll have to teach me how to do it.
Yeah.
Right, Brandon, show me how to do this so we can make this stream not so boring.
I don't know. I was having an interesting conversation. Very short one about ham radios. You build your own, or you just buy them and tweak them?
Well, I've got an old, it's probably a 40-year-old 10-tech that I play with, and then a fairly newer Kenwood VHF UHF dual bander that is mounted in the truck. And the dual bander, that one is line of sight. As far as you can see, that's as far as it'll transmit. If I put it in the house, I can hit Alabama, Kentucky, stuff like that on the big antenna with it. But in R, it's as far as you can see. And then the 10 Tech that's sitting here right next to the computer, it's like I said, it's their first solid state one, probably built in the early 70s. And I can do all the digital stuff on it with the old laptop that I've got behind the new laptop here, with all the bells and whistles to make it work correctly. Click the invite link from your phone, and then from the computer, take yourself out of the basement. That's what Brandon says.
Oh. Oh. So basically just drop myself out, use my phone. Let's give her
Uh-oh. Hopefully it won't drop us, but we'll give this a
no,
shot.
you guys should be.
Here comes horses back. Did it work?
Saw someone.
Are you on your
I
phone?
don't want to go.
No, hang on. Let's try this.
We're gonna try it and see if it does it. If not, we'll probably drop out too. You never can tell. But we'll try this.
Only one way to know if it works or if you did it wrong. You gotta do it.
That's right. That's exactly right. But yeah, the 10 Tech, I can talk around the world on that one.
Oh, I got it. I went on my phone and went
Nope, it didn't.
to Chrome and I hit desktop site. We're in Lake Sin, boys.
It won't let you
Oh,
in.
that's a beautiful. Yeah. Oh, sweet. It worked.
Okay.
Coming in.
All right.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. That's one rod bolt.
That's the boom.
There he is. Horses on the phone.
Yep.
Kathy says, "Welcome back, horse."
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go out in the shop.
All right. We'll see if we can't read some of these comments to you. Thank you, Brandon. It's dark out where he's at.
Well, it's dark out here. I don't know where horse is at.
Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah, he dropped out. He may come back. It looks like internet issues going on there now. I think it's internet. Sideways, horse. Can you turn the phone sideways?
Trying to figure out how to flip the camera around on the phone.
Well, that's easy. Turn it around.
No, I mean take the camera and flip it towards me, so it's not.
I know. Yeah, he's in Upper Michigan.
I don't know if they get more snow or less snow than Pennsylvania because I can't remember where Michigan is at.
Might have to do it like this.
There you go. That's kind of. Yeah, we'll all look like this at you.
Yep. I'd set my phone like this. Made it work.
Hey, it's working.
Yep.
All right, Miss Kathy. She said she'd be right back.
Polar bear said, "Hurry back, Kathy."
Figured out how to put my phone on that desktop mode to get it to work with StreamYard because it wouldn't recognize my Gmail account, so it won't add me as a guest. How'd I go?
I'm gonna put a little red mark on this rod cap so I can remember where the orientation is. Like where the bolt goes in, and the same where the bolt went from the cap into the rod. I want to mark that same side so I don't lose place. I do not want to put that rod together.
It'll allow you to flip your camera around, but I guess that.
Really? Yeah, Brandon says, well darn, it didn't touch the camera. So what's everybody been doing to keep themselves occupied?
Oh, too much. Well, I already kind of think you guys know I'm working on motors and getting my tractors ready to go. Only thing I have left to do on my mower duty Craftsman, since the motor's already situated, and besides I have to finish up a series for the Vanguard engine swap. I haven't finished that series up in over 2 years since I started that. I wanted to go over the exhaust and how I put the wiring in. Once that's done, then I gotta swap out that transmission in that tractor because I'd stuck that in because it was a spare. I'm waiting for the transmission to come back from the shop because I want to keep the original transmission on that tractor.
It says working. LOL. I've been trying, but man, it's raining so bad outside. I mean, we had flood warning. We had a tornado again up in Putnam County today. I tell you what, there's a losing battle going on there in Putnam County. That was the second one in the last 3 weeks.
It was pretty windy here all day.
Not good.
There's one short moment in time after it stopped raining. I was thinking, I think I should probably go burn some garbage today since the wind died down. I get up there and I see that nylon paneling blowing all over the place and think, no, I don't think today's a good day for a fire.
So you gonna fall asleep, Captain Jerk?
Phone's being a little laggy, so. Gotta be patient.
Falling asleep.
I think he's an hour behind us, or in front of us. Yeah, take care, Captain.
Well, I'm on the East Coast, so.
He's probably your time.
I think that's Connecticut, isn't it?
I believe so.
I remember him saying he's like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get that piston out.
I'm getting ready to weld this up. It's a battery box for their garage. It's a quick one. The bolts are only in it to help me hold everything so I can weld it together.
I gotta exit out of the chat because I want to see what you're talking about.
This is what I'll be welding with the old Power MiG 215. I'm gonna be welding up this here battery box.
I really wish I had gas MiG.
Because I got the battery box is for this. It doesn't have the hood on it right now, but Rat Rat's kind of missing the hood.
I've had to stick weld angle iron to make battery boxes.
I finally got the headlights in. I got the headlights wired up.
I can see the top ring.
All right, I'm gonna sit y'all down for a minute and fire the welder up and make some sparks.
All right.
Yeah, just don't get too close to me. That's all. I'm working with some oil here.
Yeah, we should be fine. All right.
He is over the top. If a spark falls down, I'll let everybody know. When you blow up, that's what happens.
Yep.
It would be nice if I could just stick a pry bar right up in here and pop that piston out when I don't want to scratch anything.
Time to let the welding fun begin.
There you go. You can't see anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the chat and watch that.
It's best that you stay covered.
Yeah,
I'll show you
if the spark falls down.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you the welds when I'm done. It probably won't be pretty, but they'll do.
I got a second ring. Yeah, there. Now we got it. There it is. I marked this. I marked the piston towards the sump side, and marked that rod and that rod, so I know how everything went back together. Unfortunately, I don't have my ring expander down here.
I should have told him to mute it. It'll be all right. I didn't see any sparks fall on you. Oh, yeah.
Wow, this engine's in way better shape than I would have guessed. I can still see the machining lines in the skirt of the piston. Wow, that was loud.
It sounds like a horse has got gas.
Or a mouse on a Harley.
Yeah.
You can tell it was run hot at one point because I got some oil staining on the rod.
Ah.
Some grooving in the rod journals. So probably didn't have any regular oil changes.
That is just hilarious, man.
That scratching might be the bad oil from all the water contamination. Who knows? Not too bad though. Believe it or not, this rod doesn't look as good as the one I pulled out of the engine that had all the rust in it. But they got scrapped anyway. Didn't need them.
You guys watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up button.
I'd like to step away and see if I can't find my ring expander. Get these rings off.
Yeah, you're right, Brandon. He's hiding his welds from us. I swear, when he starts welding, though, it sounds like a mouse on a Harley. That's a good description there, Willie.
I was just joking because that's what my brother says whenever he passes gas. There goes that mouse again.
I don't see any light on Horse's video either.
I think it'll be interesting when Horse is done with that tractor. Oh, I got a stud behind that.
You can't see it? I'll read it to you if you can't see it.
Nah, it's fine. Remember a horse welder and paint welder you. Well, my mom doesn't like me when I say that word, but I get the idea. Yeah, I was quite surprised how clean this was.
Yeah. It's only a battery box. It ain't gonna be fancy. Besides, I got an angle grinder so I can make them nice and pretty.
See, Brandon, you were right. He knows you pretty good, horses.
Got one more thing to tack up, just weld up on it, and that's the back bracket, and that's it. Hold it on.
Well, just make sure you don't burn your fingers trying to grab it up.
Well, I'm gonna go step away for
Boneyard,
a
you got a
little
new
bit.
video out?
Boneyard's on?
Ed was asking Boneyard has a new video up.
I haven't been on YouTube
Hello,
too much. I've been
Kathy.
too
Welcome
busy.
back. There goes that mouse again.
Yep. Anyway, I'm gonna step away for a minute. I'm gonna go grab my ring expander tool from upstairs.
All right. We're listening to the mouse on the Harley. So Brandon says he burns himself every time he tries to weld.
That's right. Now, because I think I'm in PC mode on my phone, if someone wants to happen a panel, I can probably add them from my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Works out perfectly, doesn't it?
That's right. There goes that mouse again.
Pretty good. Just making a couple tacks before I pull the bolt so that they don't come loose.
Yeah, you're right, Brandon. He can't hear over the welding, though. Brandon says, this ain't Fabricobble Friday if we don't see you do anything.
Pull the ground clamp. Yeah, it's not pretty, but it'll hold.
That's all that matters.
Yep, let me grab some pliers so I can flip it around without burning myself. Best ones are on the bottom.
Okay. That one got a little warm.
They probably really are. Probably are pretty warm.
Yeah.
Hang on, let's try a little something here. Let me see if I can flip my. Oh, that might work.
So there's no restrictions on driving time right now, Ed?
There we go. How's that? Now you'll be able to watch me.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you're behind a camera, so you might not have to cover your eyes. I'm not sure. Might want to cover. But that's up to you guys, not me. All right. That's right. Probably pull it now. Pull the bolt, then we'll weld.
Yeah, I hear that, Miss Kathy.
And I have the door, and in case anyone's wondering, yes, I do have the door cracked open. It's like great. After this is all done, I just got to plug those holes and it's good to go.
Well, I am surprised my son is still working. He's an engineer up there at Electrolux, and some of the engineers were sent to Italy 2 weeks before all this stuff started, and they came back and did not get quarantined. Well, they came back, and fortunately, none of them had the coronavirus when they came back. They all got checked.
Y'all ready?
I thought we were supposed to be calling it the beer virus or something like that. Or is that just Stacy?
Who knows?
Y'all ready?
Yeah, what we were ready for.
All right.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, I got my tool. I'm not working on anything volatile right now or hazardous. Well, unless you consider oil hazardous. I'm gonna keep that upright.
But yeah, as I was saying, everybody seems to be okay up there, and all the engineers are still plugging away. So they haven't shut their production plant down.
Now I just gotta plug a few holes on it, and then that's it. Then I can grind everything. But before I plug those holes, I'm gonna flip it around and put some bolts in the bottom of that bracket too.
Oh yeah, the Nissan plants in Tennessee. There's 2 of them here and 1 in Missouri. They're shut down. So is the Volkswagen down in Chattanooga. They're all closed down. What light?
Boy, I'm afraid to mess with that oil ring because it looks like it's gonna be a pain in the butt to get that out of there. Tiny. No, wait, I think I can get it.
No, that wouldn't be good, Ed, if they shut the borders between the states. That would hurt. That would hurt a lot of industry. That's not good.
That's not good.
People trying to break into Ed's friends' trailers. That and Kathy's kids trying to come visit but can't. Sounds like.
Nowadays, you have to like call before you go anywhere because you don't know who's going to be open or closed. I work at a gas station, so I'm going to be working pretty much no matter what. And we had to put some signs up I just saw yesterday, or no, today, I'm sorry. Just saw some signs today about being I work at a service station. They're saying stay in your vehicles, only the gas attendant can use the pumps. And another suggestion is I suggest
you're talking about down
or even.
Yeah, you're talking about down at the borders. They take it down to the border, drop it, and then someone from the other side would come pick it up. That's normally how they do that anyways. Our drivers don't go across the border to pick up stuff coming out of Mexico. They let the border patrol transfer it across the borders.
So I was saying, yeah, at the gas station,
few holes
credit cards are better than. Oh, sorry, what was that horse? Anyway, I suggest people using credit cards.
I want you to remember this one thing: if you're starting out welding, a grinder and paint.
You're repeating what Brandon's already told us. From state to state. Now that is going.
I'm starting to wonder if this middle oil ring is one continuous. Ah, there's the link. Okay. Like didn't want to come apart. Couldn't find the seam in it. There it is. I got one more part of the oil ring left to do. All this for the sake of curiosity. I want to see if these aftermarket parts are lighter than factory or not.
Yeah, that would definitely hurt the industry, at least in the automotive, because we have a lot of Kentucky plants that build parts for us, and if we can't get parts, then we can't build the cars or the trucks.
Well, you're part of the manufacturing for automotive, Harold?
Yeah, I work at Nissan.
Trucks or car division?
Uh-huh. Both.
No, which one? Oh, both? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the guys actually, what part are you in? Are you the transmission guy, the engine guy, the body guy, the interior guy?
I'm an SLC. I do logistics, moving parts to the line. Parts come off trailers and go to the line.
That's tough.
It's quick.
So when you're short on those push pin plastic deals for the interior, you're the guy to yell at.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I take the parts off the trailer, load them on a dolly, and the dolly is put by a tugger up on the line.
Okay. I do have to admit, we have a Nissan from 2004, and we love the vehicle. It's got well over 200, I think it's like 209,000 miles on the thing, a Nissan Armada, and it runs great. It's going to need exhaust soon, but
yeah,
it's been a solid truck, and we drive, I mean, we burn 2 tanks of gas in that thing a week, at least 2 tanks, maybe 1.5.
All right, I'm gonna start
miles
grinding.
Per gallon, that holds 20 gallons. So that's like
Hey.
30 gallons a week in that thing.
Horse is muted.
30 times 15. That's about 450 miles a week. Thereabouts. I could be wrong on that.
I'm getting ready to do some grinding.
15 times 20.
All right, horse is muted. If you're going to grind, this is going to kill us.
All right.
Yeah, I'd say about easily 400 miles a week on that truck.
I didn't tell him to go away. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, put yourself on that one. There you go. Where'd he go?
My phone's being weird.
It's all right. Just leave it like that.
Okay, moment of truth. Let's weigh this thing. Now the aftermarket pistons were 411 grams. These are 368.
Brandon, that would not work in a grocery store.
Chalk one up for factory Vanguard for keeping the weight down really well.
Okay. Oh, hey, look. Toilet paper. There's toilet paper. Anybody need some? Horses has toilet
what's the
paper.
big deal? Who was it that mentioned? I think in another stream I was watching, I can't remember who it was saying, what's the big deal if you just have to take a shower after you do your business and you're out of toilet paper? It's not the end of the world.
Oh, I hear that.
See, I was kind of surprised to see that the factory parts are actually lighter than the aftermarket. That's kind of cool to see. So I have to hand that to Briggs for keeping the reciprocating masses down to keep the vibrations down. That was nice.
There we go. Now we got sparks flying. He's cleaning up the welds. Miss Kathy
Grinder
wants to
is,
know, is that the new dance horses?
Yeah, the grinder is probably should go in tandem with, or should be a partner with the welder wherever you go.
Yeah.
That and the slag hammer.
Well,
Whatever
they
you
were
call those
laughing at
things.
his dancing.
So I can put this thing all back together. Now I figured out what I wanted to know. So now I can assume that's going to rumble a little bit when I get the aftermarket parts put in here.
All right.
Another thing that's
Are
going
you
to
back?
be interesting about the aftermarket rods and pistons with this is the factory pistons have this dish. The aftermarket ones are flat top. And these sit about 55 thousandths in the hole from the top of the deck. The new rods and piston combos are 35 thousandths longer. So they'll sit
Stupid freaking
20
phone.
thousandths. Yeah, 20 thousandths below the deck. So it's going to up my compression ratio in two ways.
I think if I blow my phone up a little bit, it might help.
It's
Grinding,
working just fine.
grinding is the worst part of a project. I don't care who you are.
Ah,
Why
it's
you say
fine,
that?
man.
All right, back to grinding I go. I blew this up, so hopefully I hit the right button this time.
You did. You did.
This phone is so freaking finicky. Oh.
Little buttons. That's why. That's why young kids can run their phones the best, because they got little fingers.
What happened? It seemed to have gotten really quiet.
I'm reading a
Okay.
remarks down here.
Boy, this oil ring is really kicking my butt. I think there's a recess on the. Boy, it would have been nice to know that to begin with. That you got to put that corrugated piece in first, and then the thinner pieces in, because there's actually a recess on this ring to clear the small flat blades. See, in here, there's actually a raised lip on the inside, and the flat ring actually sits on the outside of that lip. So that's why I've been having a heck of a time trying to get that thing together and apart. Hey, at least now I know for the next time.
Getting there.
Yep.
Slowly but surely, we're getting there.
I can't even see what Fisher said, but whatever.
Yep. Hopefully this works good after I'm done.
I like the boat of confidence.
Well,
Coming up on
my
8:41. I think
computer's
it's
locking
been
up.
just about an hour. Wonder how long Horse is playing. How long are you planning staying up?
Okay.
I've seen some of your streams go for a couple hours. I think you said something about schedule being different next Friday.
Yeah, I think he's doing a different format. Sing? I can't sing. You ever heard a bullfrog sing?
Not a bullfrog. I don't have a lot of those guys around here.
You ain't. Well, we've had so much rain around here.
Oh, I know. I got tons of the small frogs around here. I could have probably filled up a small fishing net with all of them around here.
Yeah, we've had tons of rain. Evidently, my wife is on her way to the house. She works at a walk-in medical clinic for Kroger. She's been playing there all day. Oh boy.
That's actually really cool how the small parts of the oil rings, like the two flat pieces, actually hold that corrugated piece of steel in. Kind of neat.
See, you try anything, huh, Ed? From what I can see, there's only 7 of us in here. And Kathy, Ed, Willie, me, and horses. There's 5, so there's one more. 6 of us. 6 of us in here. Brandon, that's who it is. So who knows?
My ring.
Anyways,
there it is.
I am gonna have to get going. Breezy's in the house. But horses, can you hear us? Or you got it muted? All right, hey, I gotta go, man. I gotta go take care of a couple of things.
All right. See you, Harold.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Nothing.
Thanks for putting up my crazy welds.
See you guys. Y'all have a great evening.
You too.
Yeah, working with these rings is definitely not helping me with my decisions and taking stuff to a engine shop to get worked on, because these things are a little finicky.
I'm gonna do some more welding, so mute myself.
Don't let me stop you. Oh, that's why you're muting. Okay. Why isn't that ring going on? Okay, now it's on. Got the top compression ring to go. So Ed, how far do you have to put your engine together when you get it back from the engine shop? Do you have to put the pistons and everything back in, or are they just doing the machine work for the valves and the the valves and cylinders? I gotta figure out which one was the top and bottom on that. Thankfully, this ring is pretty square. I don't think it really matters if I flip it upside down or not. Okay, everything has to be put in. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do all that finicky stuff. I'd rather pay to have it. This is annoying. I just dropped my top compression ring, and I don't know which way it was now. I had to guess. Some corrosion on the top and bottom of it. Would have been nice if there was a charge side, and I would know the charge side went up. One side's got more wear on it than the other. Yes. The side with the wear would go down because that's where most of the pressure is at. I don't even know how you degree a cam. You mean checking to make sure the timing for the lobes for when the after 50,000 is open and closed kind of degree the cam? Make sure everything's copacetic for all the valve assemblies. Or are you talking about adjusting the cam timing? One thing I'm gonna have to do for cam for my one engine build, which is gonna be a little bit tricky, is I gotta somehow figure out how I'm gonna drill a new cam and put the governor back on it. For so I have to have a governor for the class. Governor is held in place with 2 pins. I got one drilled off and set aside, but centering it isn't gonna be the easiest thing in the world. Yeah, I've heard of them being adjustable, but never got that big into it. Now, a lot of these adjustments can be a little finicky. You just gotta try it. I don't have a dyno around by me. I tried looking up stuff on the internet. I haven't asked my engine shop if there's a dyno somewhere. Dyno test the engine, get everything set up, but I was asking how you know if there a way to calculate the ignition timing. He said there's too many variables such as the temperature, the fuel, and your compression ratio, and even your cam all affect the ignition timing. And I got Stacy saying that he can rev his post twin up to high RPM, and he just has factory timing on it. But advantage to having timing is it gets your RPM up faster. When you're pulling, it's nice to be able to get your speed up quickly. trying to find that burr on here. I think the burrs are usually worn down on the rings instead of up.
I think tomorrow I'm going to hit these with the 110 volt angle grinder and really give them the beans.
I can't even see what you're working on. I'm keeping up with the chat. Kathy and Durbin.
Well, grinder, I think the 110 volt one's going to need to come out and hammer down.
Well, I'm going to put the burr side on this. The burr's worn on the outside from the cylinder walls. I'm going to put the burr down on this ring. Because usually the compression and combustion stroke hammer the ring down on the piston. So I think that's the right direction I'll go. Try not to drop it again. But the ring is a perfect 90-degree angles all the way around it. So I don't think it's really going to hurt it if it's put in upside down. And right now I got my hands a little full. $100 an hour, what, for a dyno? Never had one dynoed? Yeah, well, I'm new to this stuff, so I don't know what to listen for. I know my 16-horse flathead, I had tuned it all up for gasoline and it ran great. I put the av gas in it, and then it was shaking and rattling horribly. And I had to retard the timing, and it ran great. It didn't shake as much. So I don't know. I had mentioned the video. I wasn't sure if it burned faster or slower. I think it burns faster. Looking at how my engine reacted, but I really don't know any way of testing if avgas is faster or slower than gasoline. I imagine it might be faster. Don't know. But I don't know if you ever heard me talking about doing something with those piezo microphone knock sensors and seeing if I couldn't hook up headphones and be able to listen for actual knock to get the ignition timing right.
There we go. I just got to finish up the welds on both these sides, and that's about it. Then she'll be ready to go.
Can't see much. It's too tiny. Are you bolting on the sides or the bottom when you put it in?
Bottom.
Okay.
Yep, I just got to finish up these side welds and get them a little cleaner. But other than that, it turned out pretty good for scrap steel, that is. But for all you tractor, this is for all the tractor guys out there.
I'm always working with cheap, rusty stuff.
Yep. There you go. This is I'm sure a lot of guys will appreciate this one. It's got the flap.
Yeah, I had one of those on my tractor, and I noticed that I kept smelling the exhaust when I had it on there, so I took it off. I never went back. Didn't have to worry so much about water getting in it because the pipe threads leaked a little bit anyway, so the water would never fill it up.
Well, it's time to put the hood on for now and route some wiring.
I gotta have the right size rain cap and they stay open correctly and they work good.
There you go. I'm using a board to hold y'all up.
You can do some crazy stuff with some of those ring caps and make them look pretty decorative, ornate.
Yeah. There. Oh, look at that. Sweet. Not bad for having a board in the way. I mean, whatever works, right?
I can't see too good. The screen and from my angle is only like a half-inch wide and maybe 1 1/4 inches tall.
There's a board right there, so I'm gonna. Well, at least I can't say I didn't try.
Well, you can't say you failed until it breaks apart anyway.
Yeah, there. That's a little better. I pushed the phone up just a little taller. I'm getting my angle set here.
Well, it's almost 9 o'clock by me. I'm gonna have to get going soon. I'll go back over to the chat.
Yep, it's 9 o'clock for me. Almost. All right. Gotta make break for the switch. That's what I need to do.
Well, I was reading Ed's comments, and he says he times his by the plugs and the timing light. Well, I can degree a flywheel and know when my spark takes place. It's just hard to know when you get in that sweet spot when engine's happy and not detonating. I don't want to blow up a motor. I don't have the money to be dumping in the motors. At least not expensive ones. That's why I'm doing this and not my opposed twin. I don't really have $2,300 to do an opposed twin, even though it would be more powerful, but I don't have the money for that. I have to buy a block, an entire block, and I have to have an entire crankshaft cut down in order to fit the horizontal application. So just in crankshaft work, it's going to be super expensive just to have the crankshaft done. So it's probably just $1,000 just for the block and the crank. Versus this, I can leave the crank alone and up the compression and get quite a bit out of it for not a whole lot of money. Still have a pretty darn reliable engine that I can still use around the house.
Once I figure out what I did with that bracket I had for the light switch, we'll be good to go, but don't know where that went off to.
Hey, Ed, when you're done with your motor, you want to give us a total on how much you have into it, or is that proprietary?
Is that for Ed's ears and Ed's ears only, or anybody else? Oh.
Yeah, Ed's engine, he's got to put it all together. I was kind of curious if he what kind of money he saved on the machine shop bills since he's putting it together himself. I imagine he's going to save quite a bit. See, every time I work with a Kohler, it always costs me too much dang money. I'm also running in stock class. I'm not going in open like you said you were going to, or modified.
I really like are the old K series.
K series aren't bad, but every time I seem to get my hands on one, they always need a piston. Except for my 12 horse I got, surprisingly. But that I had a short block put in it, so someone had put a piston in it at some point.
The one in my Cup Cadet is a replacement motor. It's probably 30-something, 40, probably just over 30 years old. Original internals, it doesn't make any noise.
My 10 horse didn't make any noise, but it definitely smoked, and I took the head off, and the piston was loose in there. But I was kind of surprised with it leaking and burning as much oil as it did. It practically leaked as much oil as it burned gas. I thought the rod and the crank were going to be toast on it, but literally all I needed was piston rings and a bore job. And it was good. It cost me, I think, just around $275 to get that all back up to good shape and put that on my rear mower.
That's a pretty hefty price for something like that.
What do you mean? That's a brand new bore. Was it 10 thousandths oversized, brand new pistons and rings, brand new gaskets, brand new carburetor. I think I put a brand new carburetor on there. I have to think about that.
Yeah.
No, I think I just rebuilt that carburetor and had to replace the points and condenser on it.
Yeah. That's why it's like before this, everybody was like, you need to do a stream in the shop. Yeah, do a stream in the shop. Well, guess what? I finally did one.
Well, that's definitely a lot less money than what I've been spending. I'm probably gonna have $1,800 into this thing. But I'm trying to think how much the parts cost, because it was $300 for the rods. I think it was $350 for the pistons. So right there is $650 just in the rods and pistons. I'm trying to think of how much the valves cost. I think the valves were $120 and the springs and retainers were $90. That's 650 plus 100 and or 210.
I'm gonna go draw a hole quick.
$860. $860 so far, and I have to pay for the head work because I don't have the press for the valve guides, nor do I have the tools to deburr them or anything like that, or lap the seats or cut the seats to the right size. I don't have any of those tools.
I'm gonna
that $1,800 is also figuring the cost of the engines and the carburetor parts. The carburetor, I had to get $40 in parts to fix that. Hey, Boneyard.
I'm gonna go make some more noise. So.
Hey, Boneyard, you got a nice Husqvarna push mower. I don't use push mowers, but I can definitely admire a good all-wheel drive Husqvarna. Especially with the auto choke and not that primer nonsense. And it's got that wind vane choke on it, so the choke actually turns off when you start it, which is also nice. So I'm kind of done here for tonight. It's 9:02. I think I'm going to get out of here. Horse is welding, so can't hear him. I don't know. You can stick around since Horse is occupied. Oh, right there. I didn't spend anywhere near as much as you did. No, I have to run stock carburetors. I can't do any porting on the carburetors or manifolds or heads. The aftermarket valves and valve guides are going to open up the ports a little bit, and the better cam is going to help it breathe a little bit better at higher RPM. But if I go half as far for, I'm not expecting to win, but at least if I come in the top 10, I'm happy. 10 out of, say, 60 people. A lot of the time in the stock classes, there's about 60 people pulling. Or no, let me think about that. Each page is 24. And there's sometimes maybe 2.25 pages. So that's about 50, 60 people pulling. So if I'm in the top 10, I would be ecstatic. Because I know I probably won't have half as much into my tractor overall than what some people put into theirs, because my tractor is not going to be repainted. It's not going to have any super custom fabrication work done on it. The only modifications I'm going to do to the tractor, besides like the like putting better tires on it, better wheels on it, I'm not changing the stance on it, and I'm not changing steering out on it. I'm not changing gear ratios. The only modifications on that tractor is a stiffer or an extra spring on the clutch, and I have to make a different hitch on it. And I have to put a different pulley on the engine with a different size belt. But there's people that might invest super high amounts of money just into a clutch that'll handle the 50, 60 horsepower they're putting through, and I'm relying on a half-inch belt. So it'll be interesting if I smoke a belt. I'll consider that an achievement. But I haven't had any issues with belt slip or snapping belts, but I do only buy the Napa belts, even though they're more money and there's other options out there, but Napa is the closest store that would have them in stock. And I haven't had any problems with Napa belts. I've bought other belts that just, as soon as you put any kind of use on them or slip on them, the strings start to come loose and it just makes a mess. The Napa belts, even if you burn them up a little bit, they don't tend to fall apart. I haven't seen the new videos yet. I haven't been on YouTube since Thursday. I haven't really been looking at any videos. I was just watching a video on Eric the Car Guy before the stream went up about the Acura Type Rs.
I have to do a little guesstimation there on a hole.
Another thing about what I'm doing is I still want to be able to use the tractor at home. I'm no offense to anyone that does it, but I don't think I'd call a tractor a garden tractor if you have to wheel out a hand truck to start it, like some people do in the modified classes. I like to be able to just turn a key and go and not have to worry about shutting it off after 5 minutes and putting a leaf blower on it or like anything like that. I still want to be able to run it at home. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of improvements I can get and still have practicality. Like run what you brung kind of a deal. It's one of the nice things about the way I had my hitch set up for the simplicity. It was on my B1, is literally, with the exception of putting the sleeve hitch in, which you had to take the bracket off, the part of the hitch assembly apart in order to get the sleeve hitch in. Literally, I can take my hitch assembly off with just an Allen wrench and pull my whole hitch off, and then still have access to the factory drawbar on the tractor if I ever want to run my vacuum unit. I can stick the pin in, put my vacuum unit on. I don't need any fancy tools. I don't have to rework everything. I can still put attachments on my tractor. I don't have to take the factory hitch off to run my clevises. On my simplicity stuff. Now my Craftsman, I don't have any rear attachments for my Craftsman, so that's going to be get a whole redesigned hitch. Yeah, at least you have cooling fans. I'm just talking about some people that take these things to such extremes that all they do is run down the track and sit in a trailer. They have to push them to the track. They have to push them in and out of the trailer. At that point, I think it's just well beyond the outside of practicality. And it's just too much work, too much money. Trying to do it for fun. Granted, if you're going to win, that's nice. But I know I don't have the money to be putting into the modified stuff. It's supposed to be a hobby, not a habit. There you go. A hobby, not a habit. And one thing I do want to do as for tuning these things would be interesting, but it's going to cost me about $230. I was going to look into getting one of those wideband gauges and stick it down the exhaust, see if the tuning's good for when you're at the track. That'd be interesting. So if you're worried about if your high speed set right or your low speed set right, you can literally just pop a plug out and stick a sensor in, let it warm up. You hook up to like where a battery is, and you have your gauge and a control box. You can actually see what your fuel-air ratio is live, which is really cool. Yeah, like I said, it's a hobby, not a habit or addiction. Who knows what will happen in 10 years? I don't even have the space around here to have a tractor just sitting around doing nothing. Maybe if I had a trailer, an enclosed trailer, I could probably do that. But I need a magnifying glass is what I need. I should see if I have a spring compressor in here. I'm kind of curious. I don't know where my dad puts it. Aha. There it is. I was expecting more people to be up on the panel. I don't want to leave Horse alone. I don't know. I see videos of these people going down the tracks at like 15, 20 miles an hour and having to try and steer, and it looks terrifying. looks like it's gonna throw you right out of the seat if you weren't wearing a seatbelt, which nobody is. You almost need a bucket seat just to keep from falling off the side.
This is how fancy you are here. Sometimes when I get fancy, I don't know the size of something. Bust out the calipers.
I gotta come over. I'm looking at the chat right now.
Yep. I don't know what size drill bit I need for the light switch. I'm going to use the old digital calipers and measure it. We're going to cheat a little today.
I use a caliper to figure out what drill size all the time. You put it in the hole, and then you lock it, and then you just find the drill bit that fits in it.
It's saying like 0.45, so a half inch is going to be the closest. Now, it's in the house, I actually have a set of older Sears Craftsman mechanical calipers.
I still gotta take a shower tonight. It's gonna be a long night. Really don't know if this ring compressor is gonna go small enough. Looks like it will. That was loud.
I'll drill bit. I'm going to drill a 1/4-inch pilot hole first. Make life a little easier.
If it's a half inch, I don't think you need a 1/4 inch. You could probably go 3/16 if you were starting it. Problem with that is if you use a small drill bit, you're more likely to break it, and that's not always fun. But
The whole thing with the project was build it using what I have and what works. So I'm building with what I have and what works.
Most people don't have small drill bits. You'd laugh because I have my. You ever have those little tiny holes you have to drill? I have my Irwin set. When you don't want your drill bit to snap, I use my Irwins because the stupid things are expensive. Though I don't want to use them all the time. So then I have my junk set from Harbor Freight. And you're always going to break drill bits out of that. So then you have your complete set of Harbor Freight drills.
Just remember,
See, I got quite a few drill bits.
Hashtag budget build. Which pretty much what this was a budget build. Back to drilling I go.
Best 40 seconds. I don't know if it's even 40 seconds hardly. Some are over in like 20 seconds. Depends on how long the track is. I was actually driving my one Craftsman that's going to be getting this engine in it. I was driving on the hill here with a trailer behind it, like a car trailer, a little tiny, what is it? I think it's like a 6x7, 6 foot wide, 7 foot long trailer, like a flatbed trailer that I use for moving equipment or stuff like that. And I went to make a turn on the hill, and the thing almost pushed the tractor right over. It scared the crap out of me, let alone have to do that at 20 miles an hour down a track. I don't want to be doing that. I like my tractors. I don't want to ruin them. That's another thing is I'm working with a Craftsman, a poor old Sears. I don't think that transmission would ever take anything more than 30 horsepower before you'd blow the carrier assembly, because the main gear for the carrier, I think, is only 3/4 of an inch wide, and it's just straight gears. It's not a helical cut gears or pumpkin or anything like that. It's just a standard garden tractor carrier with it's got 6 planetary gears in it, but it's just a little small. I think the gear in that Craftsman is actually smaller than the one in my Simplicity. I think the one in the Simplicity is like an inch wide, straight cut gears. But the problem with Simplicity is the weak point on that is the axle tube. If you put 30 horsepower through those, you're liable to break the axle tube. There's one guy on Facebook that makes axles, and I think he was selling them for $300. that they'll take 60 horsepower, no problem. So that just goes to show how tough those cases are and those simplicities. They'll take 60 horsepower. It's just the axle's the weak point on them. And he was talking about reinforce it, welding stuff in, and all kinds of voodoo kind of stuff. Yeah. I gotta be different though. I can't run what everyone else is running. I kind of get tired of seeing Cub Cadets, especially when you look at the prices when you go to buy them used. I think if they painted them orange, I might get them cheaper. I don't know. Seems like all the yellow and green stuff costs money. I saw an Alice Chalmers B1. That's a yellow tractor, by the way. Someone had advertised as a Cub Cadet and wanted $300 for the thing that didn't even run. I'm thinking, boy, if I didn't think it was a Cub Cadet, I bet you it'd be a $100 tractor. Oh, boy. If I wanted to, I could probably go to a graveyard and find a Cub Cadet for not a whole lot of money. I just don't want to spend the time. The reason I have all these Craftsmans is because they're cheap. I've bought I think 11 of these Craftsmans. I have to think about that. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I bought 9 of these Craftsman tractors ranging from 86 to 1990. They were gray bricks. I'm sure you've probably seen them in my videos. And I like the 1990s because the clutch assembly is fixed. It's the tensioner pulley moves. Versus the earlier ones had a adjustment for one pulley to adjust the belt tension. And that pulley would always seem to come loose on them and knock your adjustments out of whack. So I liked it where you didn't have to adjust that belt all the time. And not only that, but it's easier to put the belt on the 1990, the drive belt. It's easier to put the drive belt and the deck belts on the 1990 Craftsman versus the earlier ones, which have the 1/4-inch steel dowel belt guards. So you have to loosen the pulleys in order to get the belt on it. So I didn't like that either. So I bought 9 of those Craftsman tractors that have a whole bunch of spare parts, and I had 3 of the 1990 Craftsmans that are a lot easier to service. They have the flat engine mount instead of the countersunk engine mount, so you can get at the bolts for the blower cover very easily. A lot easier to work on the 1990s. And I've thrown a lot at them. I've broken transmissions and haven't really hurt the frame any. Only thing I don't like on the tractors is the articulation in the front axle is a little bit lacking. It doesn't pivot that much, and then it bottoms out, and then it starts to twist the frame weird. I don't like that.
Need to grab my flashlight and an adjustable wrench. I need a nut for that light switch.
Easy to work on. I have all the parts for these things, and I haven't really been able to blow them up. The only thing I blew up on them so far is one transmission, and that's a tractor that had enough miles on it to wear out an opposed twin Briggs. The opposed twin Briggs on there was so bad that you could feel the lip in the cylinder was almost like an actual sharp edge from the piston rings because it had so many hours on it. It sounded like a diesel, and all we did was knurled the pistons and stuck standard rings back in it and ran it for another 2 years. That thing needed it wasn't even worth boring out because I don't even think 30 thousandths bore out would have cleaned the cylinder back up in that engine. And that transmission was original with that engine, so if the engine was wore out, that transmission had a lot of use on it too. That's a transmission shop, and the carrier, the axle snapped off inside of the carrier, so it must have snapped between the planetary gears and the housing for the carrier assembly is where the transmission broke on that tractor. And I gave him a used transmission, so he had the whole carrier assembly. He said, yeah, I'll get it done. You told me that about a week and a half ago, and it's still not done yet. So he must have found a lot of bad bearings in it. He was going to check all the bearing clearances with feeler gauges and see what was good or bad. So evidently it had a lot of wear on it. So for a tractor to go from, and I don't think that thing ever had a year it was not cutting grass. So let's see, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020. 30 years of nonstop service before that transmission gave up the ghost, and that was a hard abuse. Running a scoop bucket, so constantly jamming it into piles of dirt, constantly jamming it in reverse, constantly just dumping the clutch, spinning the wheels. It was just high abuse for that thing. Well, how'd you blow up at Tecumseh? I have to know. Was it aluminum bore or cast iron bore? A lot of aluminum bore Tecumseh's out there unless you get to the old stuff. Oh, that engine was burning 8 ounces of oil in like 1.5 hours. It was burning super crazy amounts of oil until we re-ringed it or had the engine work done on it. Oh, that's tough. Hopefully everything works out fine for you, Harold. I also blew up the transmission in my Simplicity, but once again, that was a cast iron axle tube, and that cracked from the inside out, and that's from the 60s, late 60s. So that was 50 years of use before that thing let go. And that was cutting grass up till 2012 when the center spindle broke on that tractor. So all my stuff is cheap, rusty, beat up stuff. I haven't even gotten really a low hours tractor in a long, well, actually never. All of my stuff seems to be used and used and used. I haven't heard from Horse in a while. Is he still welding? Or is he gone? Oh, it's black. What the heck? Oh, okay. Well, can you blame Tecumseh for not handling high RPM? They weren't really built for it. I'm surprised the governor did, or no, let me think. Cast bore. I wonder what let go. It must have been the rod. Nate, where's Nate? Oh, Go-Karts isn't here. Hey, Go-Karts. I'll say hi. I'm in the chat, so I can't really see where I'm at with the camera. Even though I blew up the transmission on that tractor, and even the engine was worn out, like I said, I still have tons of spare parts. I have, I think, how many transmissions do I have for that? I think I have 3 spare transmissions. However, one's being used for parts now, so I only have 2 extra transmissions besides what's in the 2 tractors. So I'm not all too concerned about blowing up a transmission on those Craftsmans if I do. Yeah, stuff happens. I wonder what kind of RPM it stood up to for until it did let go.
Oh, seeing I didn't get the chance to say
streaming it up at like 30,000. I'm worried.
How you doing, Nate? Sorry I didn't say hi. I was busy grabbing something out back for a part for the tractor here.
Need to grab some oil. I don't think I have any right here. Well, I took it apart on camera. I must have put it back together. Oh, this ought to be good. I wonder what the Florida weather is like. I wonder if they're getting more or less rain than we're getting here. At the bottom of the stroke, by any chance? I am now. You know, the ring compressor worked. That small cylinder. I don't know why my eye's bothering me right now. I don't know if I got oil in it or what. Got a new guy in the chat. We got Hot Rod here. I don't know where Nate went.
Hey, all right, how you doing?
Fisher's still hanging around in the comments.
There we go. Phone was starting to die, so I had to plug it in.
I've been plugged in. I've had mine plugged in the whole time, just in case.
I charged mine up because I was curious just to see how far it'd go without having to be plugged in. It hit like 40%. I was like, yep, time to plug her in.
Well, mine, I don't even know where I started, but I don't think it's charged at all.
Yeah, sometimes mine will do that where I'll plug it in and it won't charge. It'll just stay at one spot.
Yeah. My phone's been through the ringer today. I was using the GPS and Pandora at the same time, and I turned the screen off because it wasn't charging. It was like going from, I think I started at 88%, and by the time I got done with the trip, it was down at 55. I'm thinking, boy, I'm not going to have enough battery life to get it back home if I leave the screen on the whole time. So I turned it off.
Whenever I put the switch, it's going to sit right under the hood for a lot. Keep your shots, no one messes with it.
I can't make out what you're saying. It's in and out. See you later,
Put the light
Harold.
switch under the hood so that way no one messes with it.
Messes with what?
With the light power switch, I don't want anybody screwing with it at tractor shows and turning them on and then draining the battery.
Okay. You know, when I went to go grab my ring expander, I noticed my brother's truck taillights were on, and it had something to do with the brake pedal because I was checking out the brake pedal, and when I was wiggling it, the lights were blinking, but they weren't turning off.
You could have, now you could have real fun. Connect the brake pedal, switch to the horn.
Well, it's a square body Dodge. Who knows?
People. All right, it's time for the. Well, no, I'll put the battery tree in first. Then we'll set the hood on. Because it's time to be Mr. Electrical.
I need to grab some batteries before I can fire up my. Or no, I can use the analog torque wrench. Oh, but I don't have a phone to look up the torque specs. Son of a. Oh.
Honestly, I didn't think I was going to get this much done tonight, but I surprised myself.
I didn't think it was going to take me as long to take those rings on and off. I'm used to working with the old flathead rings. They're easy. You could take them off practically in your sleep. These things are so dang tiny.
Yeah.
A little finicky. That 3-piece oil ring instead of 1-piece. Granted, I like the 3-piece oil rings because then they don't burn all the oil like the flatheads do.
Time to put the hood on this thing.
Hey, Kathy.
Yep, now I just gotta find some headlight bezels for it and she'll be ready to roll.
Well, I have to see what the torque specs are on this before I can tighten up the rod on this. I don't want to leave the rod loose on it and put the cover back on. I don't really want to put a sump gasket on that. Hey, Horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hot Rod is looking for a wrench. I don't know what kind of wrench.
Oh, he wants the moderator. I think he's looking for the bull wrench.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not on my computer right now. Hot Rod, like when I'm done out here and I get on my computer, I'll go ahead and give you that wrench, buddy.
Oh, tell me about it, Ed. I'm awake at like 11 o'clock at night. I'm thinking, wait, I'm usually tired by 10 o'clock. It's been over a week and I'm still messed up on daylight savings time. Then again, you get up early too. Oh, no, and you're, I don't even know what kind of work schedule you have now with all the scares going on. Looks like Hot Rod's looking for a 5/8 snap-on blue point. Don't know if that's a socket or an open end. Imagine it's an open end, but then again, it could be a flank drive, standard drive.
I can't remember if he's a moderator on my channel or not.
I can't tell from the live comments here and on StreamYard.
Usually when somebody says I'm looking for a wrench, I know they're like wanting to be a moderator or something, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, moderators. I don't care if I am or not myself.
Now
it seems like by the time I finally notice there's a problem in the chat, I get beat to by a bunch of other people before I even notice what's going on. Like, hey, wait, why is he deleted and kicked out or something like that? It's like, oh, that's why. I was watching the live stream Small Engine Mechanic, Mike, the Small Engine Mechanic channel. He did his first live stream. Someone was doing all kinds of inappropriate stuff in the comments.
There you go. Rat Rod looks a little more complete now. I don't think I could have designed this battery tray any more perfectly because I should be able to slide this right on in there.
You know, I built the battery tray for a 10 horsepower cast iron Briggs generator that had electric start on it. Very neat generator. I haven't seen one that old with electric start. It had a star generator on it. I think it was mid 70s.
Start generator.
Being it's a cast iron 10 horsepower, it's got and it's also got the star generator on it, which adds weight. And then you have this big, huge 3,800 watt generator on it. It was impossible to move without wheels.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a battery box on it when I got it, so I put a battery box on it first. Then I was going to put the wheels on it. And then I noticed when I went to put the wheels on it, because they were repurposed from Champion generators, that's like, crap, I don't know if this wheel's going to clear the battery. I only had like a 1/4 inch clearance between the outside radius of the wheel and the battery. I'm thinking, holy crap, how did that work out? Perfect. Oh, man, I didn't want to re-weld all that stuff if that didn't clear. That would have sucked. It worked out perfect. Like, man.
Dude, that fits like perfectly in there. Like, I couldn't have designed this any better myself.
Where are you putting it in? Is it in the rear fenders or something?
No, it's going to hang right up here up front, filling the void in the hood. Because it's engine, gap, front of the hood. I was like, I'll put something in there to fill the void.
At least it's not by the gas tank.
No.
I heard horror stories about gas tanks coming loose and shorting, or not gas tanks, batteries coming loose and shorting out, and gas tanks going up in flames. And you think, you know, I never thought about that. And then I thought about it a little bit further. I realized, you know what? I have almost all of my tractors have the batteries right next to the gas tank.
Oh, my company, that's probably but the way that it's set up is it's got the fuel tank right here. It's got a divider bar than the battery, so it can't contact.
And my Allis-Chalmers 712 has a battery by the gas tank, but that's a plastic gas tank. Same as my Craftsman pulling tractor, that has a plastic gas tank right next to the battery. But then my Simplicity 2012 has a gas tank right by the battery, but there's a metal wall in between the two of them. Or no, is there? There's a little bit of a shelf. The battery's on one shelf and the gas tank's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
They're still side by side.
Battery's down here.
On my B1, which is up, I'll be putting up for sale at the end of this month. Someone was supposed to buy off me, and then they kind of ghosted me, or something happened. I don't know. But literally, the batteries, if it didn't have a bungee strap in it, the battery would be touching the gas tank.
Well,
so I even went out of my way to turn the terminals away from the gas tank, so there's no way for them to get anywhere near to short out on the battery. I do need to put rubber boots on that if I put a battery in it to sell it. I really don't want to put a battery in it.
The way the wire sets, I may be able to go right to ground without having to go to the chassis, but I'll still ground the battery to the chassis.
Better off ground the chassis anyway, because then you can run your lights wherever.
Yeah. I always got to find a ground cable.
That's why you got to save all your wiring from parts tractors. I have a 5-gallon bucket overflowing with wiring right now from tractors. I should whittle it down.
Sweet. My phone's charging. Sweet. Let's see what I can.
I also have
electronic fuel pump.
You gotta be careful with fuel pumps and carburetors. Or no, that's a diesel.
Yep,
doesn't matter. They don't really care.
It's crazy because this doesn't have a lift pump on it. It was gravity fed from the factory, so there's no lift pump, nothing.
Yeah. Well, what did they do for a fuel filter on that engine? Was there just a screen?
For a fuel filter?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do have an inline filter in it. I put one in it.
Okay. And the diesel's pretty thick. It doesn't always like small filters like you would use for gasoline.
The filter I'm running is rated for diesel fuel.
Yeah. Imagine there's diesel fuel filters that are inline. That'd be a little bit bigger than what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's what this one is, because the filter used to be on the Kubota, so.
Now, my brother has two Cummins 12-valve 6-cylinder engines, and he actually runs what he calls black diesel in them. It's used engine oil, which he filters down really fine. He has a settle tank where all the water and the crap settles out of it for the most part. He runs it through just a rag to first screen it to get some of the mud out. And then a lot of the water settles out in that settle tank, and then he pumps it into a mixing tank. The mixing tank has a circulating pump that filters down via centrifugal force down to like a half a micron, which is like half the size of a red blood cell. And he adds enough gas in it to thin it out so his diaphragm fuel pumps on the engines can pump the fuel through the filter.
Yeah.
He uses a spray can. Yeah, he uses a spray can with a little hole and times how long it takes for the fuel to drip through it to get it to the right consistency. And because he has that circulation pump on it, it blends the fuel really well. So he doesn't tend to have any separation or dirt issues because he's filtering it really good and circulating it all the time. He wants to put a gear pump in it sometime, an electric gear pump, so he can run straight oil.
Can't be the good old 12-valve Cummins.
Yep. Right now he's working on, he wrecked his 1-ton dump truck and he found another one and swapped all the parts over to get the one fixed. So he got his, he took the dump body off of the one, put it on the other truck and got that all up to par and got it all back together. But then he had the engine from and transmission from the other truck. He just wasn't a fan of the 318 gas job he had, so he took the 318 out of his other truck and put the diesel in it. And he even bought a 4-speed transmission with overdrive for a 2-wheel drive that'll fit the diesel engine. Right now, he's just trying to figure out the overdrive on it because the overdrive was computer controlled, but he's got to put some sort of pressure switch into the cooling lines so the overdrive can actuate correctly. That's where he's at with that. But he's sold his 318 and transmission for I think $300, and that had like 135,000 miles on it, and it still ran good. And the transmission was rebuilt at one point because it still had a tag on it for being rebuilt. It was a rental truck before he got it, so he sold that for $600. Had the diesel engine just sitting in the wrecked truck that would normally cost someone $2,000 at least. You got a transmission for $1,200, so at real cost is about $900 for the transmission, considering he sold the engine and transmission for $300. So he's been in the middle of swapping that all out. So he's going to be going from a 15 mile per gallon gas job to a 20 mile per gallon 4-speed overdrive diesel. And he's only going to be spending 40 cents a gallon on fuel, and he'll probably be doing 700 miles to a tank. And it would cost him nothing to run that thing. He doesn't run it commercially, that's just for himself. So I don't think there'd be any issues with tax, and it's not a heavy truck. So it'll be an interesting truck when it's all done. Granted, it looks like crap because it's all multicolored. It's a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white, a little bit of galvanizing, a little bit of rust, a little bit of yellow. But the truck itself is pretty solid. He fixed the rockers on the floor panels a little bit, were a little bit rusty, so he fixed those while he was working on it. So the floor is solid on it, all that fun stuff.
That's the pump I have for it that I want to add on someday. It's a diesel fuel pump too. 12 volt.
Yep. What kind of pressure is it rated for? Just out of curiosity.
Sure. I don't really know what the pressure is on it, but
I don't think the diesel's. Yeah, diesel I don't think is going to care.
Yeah. And I have ran with that pump on one time just on a test stand. Runs great with it on there. Runs great without it.
Yeah, diesels are nice. They just go.
What's funny is this is the first diesel railroad tractor we've ever done. And at least I can say it's my first fuel injected railroad.
Nice thing about the diesels though is when you let off your clutch, you don't necessarily have to worry too much about them stalling when you let off your clutch.
Oh, it was during the winter, when we had snow, I took it out for its first run. And I was sitting around snow. I was like, I put it in third gear, and I was like, let's see what she can do. I dumped the clutch. It got a bunch of tires spin. It took off, and it bogged down and stalled.
Like I said, it takes a lot. It's not as bad as what a gasoline engine would be.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, it does not use any fuel. Ice-Force engine does not use any fuel.
Depends on how you set them up. You can make them shoot fuel out the pipe if you wanted to. Matter of fact, we had my brother was messing around with some Chinese diesels, and I've never seen diesels that blew. He had 4 of these Chinese diesel generators, and 3 of them had blown head gaskets. So that should just go to show the reliability there.
Yeah. I gotta do a little. I gotta make a little more noise, so I'm gonna mute myself quick, and I'll be back.
We had one. Okay, I can wait for you to get back then. Can you still hear me if I'm talking or no? I'll go back to the chat, see what's going on over there.
Yeah, that thumbs up, man. I can still hear you.
Hey, you're getting compliments from Hot Rod as he's liking what you're doing. By the way, horse. At least I think it's for you. Yeah. Be interesting to see what it looks like when he puts some bar tires on it. Gets rid of the turfs. I don't think I'll ever go back to turf. After running ag tires and bar tires as long as I have, I don't think I ever want a turf tire again. Granted, I'm going to be putting turfs on my 712H just because my grandfather uses it to cut grass. Oh, he left. Nope, he's back. Nope, he left. Back? I don't know.
There it goes. My phone's being really weird. This is my first time. This is my first time using StreamYard on my phone, so I'm getting used to it.
I'm on a phone too. As long as I don't have to touch it, I think I'm fine. I'm also spoiled because I'm right by a tower. As I was saying, we were fooling around with a generator, and it must have had a bad injector on it because it had low compression. It had such low compression that it would just barely run. So we were fooling around with the shims on the injector that was right on the cam. We just took the shims right out and put the injector right as far in as it would go to get as much fuel as possible, and the thing finally ran, but spat black smoke everywhere, and it was sputtering like a gasoline engine was on choke or something like that, and it still wouldn't rev up because of that blown head gasket. So it doesn't take much to get them to spit out black smoke and burn more fuel. Granted, at some point, it's just not going to get enough air for the fuel going in, and you're only going to get so much out of it. I'm sure if you want to get into diesel injectors, it can get super complicated, such as when it starts injecting, how long it injects for, and how much.
Yeah, I'm just putting a dummy battery in here for now to root the wiring, but once that's rooted, I might put a real battery in it, some good battery in it tomorrow, and turn the lights on and hope they work. And test the bulbs, because I have other sets of bulbs that should be good. But I
have what kind of charging system do you have on that diesel?
I don't have one on it yet, but I'm gonna get like one of those like little Kubota alternators, like those tiny generators that come on the Kubota subcompact tractors.
Yeah, that would work.
And I'm gonna put one of those off this side, on the side where the drive is, and drop a pulley down and make a bracket for it to ride on, so it can have a alternator.
Yeah, on my Simplicity, I got someone didn't want to fool around with the star generator regulator, which was missing. A lot of the time, you just got to clean the points on them. I don't know why someone would get rid of a regulator, because I've never seen a bad regulator once. Usually, you just got to adjust them and clean them. But someone stuck an alternator underneath the tractor for a charging system. And they put the battery on the rear hitch instead of underneath the column.
That's a smart idea, isn't it?
Oh, it's nice.
Whatever
You
works.
can't put your deck. You can't put your deck on when you have an alternator hanging underneath it. But I guess it was better than nothing.
Yeah.
Granted, you could
Better
probably
than
just rope
having,
start it.
better than having no charging system.
On the old Simplicities, you didn't need a charging system to run. It was an option to even have lights on them. I think my phone just froze up a little bit. I want to go back over to the chat, and it's not letting me. There it goes.
Sometimes you just gotta smack it a few times. I really shocked myself with my battery box here, not gonna lie.
Measure's pretty tight up there.
Just gotta love doing electrical.
Won't be too long. It'll be 10 o'clock. So that was 7:45. Say 8. It's almost a 2.5 hour stream.
No.
I'm getting tired. It's getting cold down here. You're almost done with your battery box.
Working on wiring stuff in right now, so if you have to go do something, you do you. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
stop you.
I'd like to look up the specs to tighten up this rod, get this back together tonight before I go to bed.
Well,
course, that's
you
after
do
I
you,
take a
man.
shower.
You do you. I'm not gonna stop you.
It was nice talking to you and Harold, and reading the comments.
Thank you, Willie. Probably wouldn't have to talk to you in the comment section for once.
Yep. So, you have a good day. See ya. And bye to all in the chat. That'll be bye to Kathy and Hot Rod. I think Harold and Ed are gone already. So see ya.
Stick around and let them watch me do this. So see you later. You know, now it's just me. And there was one. So from this point on, I will not be able to read the chat unless someone wants to come up quick if they want to and read it for me. But if you want to, that's fine. I'm going to close the garage door for now, so I'm going to mute myself and close that door. There we go. This probably wasn't one of my best views, but I'll tell you what, I've had a lot of fun, and I hope y'all have had a lot of fun too. Sorry for so much silence now, but I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. I think the next step in the future might be to wire in a fuel pump for this thing. lights are wired for now. So I think I'm gonna go inside, end this stream, and come back out and pick everything up. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.